My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC picks and DraftKings lineups run by professional fighters and MMA insiders. Every week, I join Nick Newell, professional fighter, professional model, and ESPN Top 10 guest, along with Dan Kramer, UFC fighter, Bellator fighter, Ultimate Fighter alumni, and Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. And we break down every single fight, the betting odds, the DraftKings picks, and we set you up for success. Next up at UFC 259, Blachowicz versus Adesanya, we have Sean Brady versus Jake Matthews. These odds, I think, of the night are some of the most incorrect ones. I think this is a much, much closer fight. I think they're both wrestle heavy. They both have solid grappling. They both have solid striking, and they both have solid takedowns in between. One of them's just a little bit better at all of it than the other one. So, Jacob, I'll go to you first. What are your thoughts on this fight? Who do you think wins? And do you agree that they're almost mirror images of each other?
Yes, I agree that they do have similar fight styles. And we mentioned earlier with Medic being an undefeated fighter, you really don't know if those undefeated fighters, you can never really tell. I'll tell you right now that Sean Brady is a real deal. 12-0, he is an incredible fighter. He's a great grappler, but his striking looks so precise and so powerful, and he's so comfortable striking there. And I almost, when I made this graphic, I almost had him flip around because his back tattoo is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. It's bright red, just a devil face across his entire back. It's terrifying. So props to him for that. I do have in my notes here, also, you mentioned the wrestling. I have Jake Matthews question, can he out wrestle him? I think that's the only way that he can win this fight. I think Sean Brady's striking is much more powerful, much more precise. They both can wrestle. So if Jake Matthews can out wrestle Sean Brady, I think he's got a shot. His last fight, he took Diego Sanchez to a decision, which I don't like to see. Diego Sanchez at the tail of his career, a wild dude, but you should be finishing those people if you're fighting at this level, I think. So I have Sean Brady winning this fight. He didn't make it in my lineup. The devil tattoo almost forced him into my lineup, but I withstood the urge there. So, but I think he wins the fight, and I would comfortably put my $100 on that 220.
Yeah, and they both have, they're very similarly matched and similar styles. They're both jiu-jitsu black belts. They both have good wrestling, and they both have decent striking. I do think the striking is the biggest gap between them. I think the wrestling is comparable, the grappling is comparable, but the striking, I think Brady's striking is just another tier above Jake Matthews, and I think that's the difference here. So I think Sean Brady wins. I think I would, I don't remember if he's in my lineup, we'll find out, but I think I would comfortably put him in my lineup if I had the 9,300 to spare. But Nick, what are your thoughts here? Do you think it's closer than these odds, or do you think they're farther apart?
Yeah, I think you guys are wild. I think Matthews wins this fight. I mean, if you look at his record and who he's fought, when he was a 55-pounder, he beat Johnny Case, very good fighter. He submitted Wagner Rocha, who's one of the best grapplers in the world. I mean, granted, it's an MMA fight, like Adolfo got submitted. It can happen to anyone. Obviously, he's lost some fights at 55, moved up to 170. He's 6-1 in the UFC, and his only loss was to Anthony Rocco Martin, and that was a good fight up until he got finished. You look who he beat. He beat, I'm going to butcher this, Jinglang Li, who just beat Papazino, who's nasty. He has all these wins. Yeah, he didn't finish Diego Sanchez, but I can say this as someone that fights sometimes, and Dan, maybe you can attest, sometimes when people are like really awkward, it's hard to get a read on them. So you don't really know what they're going to do. And Diego Sanchez is so weird that it's like hard to like read what he's going to do. And if he's like all over the place, you don't want to take the risk and do something stupid and get caught with something you've never seen before. So he just kind of cruised to that win. Maybe you say Brady's like a little more sharper, but honestly, I think Sean Brady's a great fighter, but some people said that Court McGee fight was really, really close. Granted, it was his UFC debut, but I'm going with Jake Matthews, and I'm putting him in my lineup.
Wow. So the exact opposite of my pick here. So We'll see what Dan thinks. So Dan, quickly. So Nick alluded to Jake Matthews. Jacob said Jake Matthews should have basically smoked Diego Sanchez, but he didn't. And Nick is saying the awkward Diego Sanchez style messes with professional fighters. So weigh in on that, and then let me know who you think wins this fight.
Yeah, no, I think, first of all, to not finish Diego Sanchez at any age is not a disappointment. I mean, Diego Sanchez is one of the toughest guys there is ever, face the planet. So at any age, that guy's not going to give up easy. I do think Jake Matthews is a great value in this one. I think the fight's going to be much closer than the odds say, and it's $6,900. I am definitely considering putting him in my lineup. There's so many good options in this card in terms of ways you can play it with so many 5-round fights. So I have him as tentatively in my lineup right now at $6,900. I think Brady is better, but again, I think it's a closer fight than the odds suggest. I think Matthews can make some, get into some scrambles, make the grappling part of the game, and it could end up being a slugfest. I think Brady is the better fighter, but for $6,900 to afford some of the more expensive guys, I think Jake Matthews is a good value pick. So if I had to pick who's going to win, Sean Brady, I think will win, but Jake Matthews is very live. So at plus 180, I'd put my $100 on Jake Matthews.
Well, it's definitely an exciting fight. It's closer. I think we all agree it's closer than the odds. It's an exciting fight. This could potentially be fight of the night, so I'm looking forward to this one. Before you go, check out the description below. In there, we have links to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and more importantly, to our DraftKings League. Check out the league, join the league, participate in the contests, and as we get going and as you start winning, we're going to start handing out gift cards and participating and doing things like that. So check those out. Every week, there are drops on every fight card. So make sure you check out this channel and our social media on Saturday before the fights start so that you have our most updated lineups and picks.